Another big development has taken place in Delhi. India's Supreme Court has objected to the National Investigation Agency questioning the marriage of 25-year-old woman called Hadiya, who hails from southern Indian state of Kerala. Hadiya was born a Hindu and converted to Islam to marry her boyfriend. The Apex Court heard Hadiya's husband Shafeen Jahan's plea against the Kerala High Court verdict annulling their marriage last year. The Supreme Court said it was up to Hadiya to decide who is a good person and who is not, and that she can make her own choices considering she is 24-year-old. The Supreme Court further observed that the marriage has to be kept separate from a criminal activity and went on to say a probe pertaining to the marital status of Hadiya was irrelevant. Hadiya's father's contention is that she was brainwashed and forced to convert to Islam after marrying Shafeen Jahan.
We expect the NIA to file a report, and we expect the court to permit the girl to continue her studies. The High Court has correctly given the judgment. The High Court has said that the marriage is only a device to get the case out of the jurisdiction of the High Court. There is no politicization at all.
The allegation made by Hadiya's parents fits in with the right-wing group's concept of love jihad, the term which accuses Muslim men of drawing Hindu women into relationships, converting them and eventually recruiting them for terrorism. And I'm joined by my colleague straight from Supreme Court, Jessica Taneja. Jessica, how has Supreme Court, by its observation, changed the perception of the case, and how does it have a bearing when the court says the marriage and the criminality has to be kept separate?
Absolutely, Karthikeya. That is what the Chief Justice of India, along with Justice Chandrachud, has said today. They said that the marriage needs to be kept separate from whatever criminal activities which is subject to investigation by the National Investigation Agency. Now, let's also go back to the case history a little bit, because it was Justice J.S. Kehar, along with Justice Chandrachud, who in fact kept quiet when Justice J.S. Kehar had in fact ordered an NIA probe into this particular case, where the Kerala High Court had annulled a 24-year-old adult woman's marriage to Shafeen Jahan. So when that came to limelight, of course, we've seen similar observations by another bench, now headed by Chief Justice of India, Deepak Mishra, who said that a woman needs to be allowed, she should be allowed to make whatever choices she can. She's a woman, she's 24-year-old, she's an adult, she has the right to choose her husband, whether he's good or bad. It is not under our jurisdiction, and it should not be under the NIA's spectrum of investigating the case as well.
So it's a quick answer. So it's a setback to NIA, and it keeps that point of view back into the fray that the rights enshrined in the Constitution to an individual has more weight than the community's perspective of any event, which might even be interfaith marriage.
Interestingly, yes, Karthikeya, because if you the whole idea is on that habeas corpus writ that is being challenged by the lawyers of Shafeen Jahan as well. Now, interestingly, to also point out that Hadiya is also a party in the case. The court rulings and the observations have been so Victorian and so old and outdated that it forgot to accommodate Hadiya, who is the main party, and she's been made a party today in the case. Everyone's fighting for a case, but nobody really realized it's Hadiya who needs to be made a party in this particular case that is going on.
Okay, I think you made a relevant point. Positive time, we need to move on, Jessica.